baseball guy here. I'm in Temecula, California, and I've got the lovely Evie.
Hello. Hello.
And Evie's got some beautiful ink, and we're going to talk about what she's been doing with her ink as well. And the first one I want to talk to you about is this little purple hibiscus. That's your first ever tattoo. Tell me the story about getting that.
So I always wanted tattoos since I was like in sixth grade. I was like, Mom, can I get a tattoo? She's like, no, you gotta wait until you turn 18. So I was like, okay. So right when I turned 18, we went to the tattoo shop. She got me my first tattoo, and it's in hibiscus. The reason why I got this first tattoo is because I like the whole scenery about like Hawaii and stuff like that, and I want to visit one day.
Now, did you draw that, or was that like off the wall?
It was like off the wall. Usually I get my ideas like off of Pinterest, but I asked my tattoo artist just to like tweak it up and do like his own little thing.
Okay. Now, was that the same artist that you've used for all of your tattoos?
Most of them, yes. Some of them, no. I did had moved to Phoenix, so I did had to look for a tattoo artist out there. But once I came back, I found my tattoo artist again, and then we started doing more work.
Who do you use here in California?
His name's Ray, and he works at Diamond City Tattoos off of Marriott Hot Springs.
Okay, and who did you use in Arizona?
Uh, that's a long time ago.
We won't worry about Arizona. We know a lot of great tattoo artists in Arizona, but Ray here in California. And one of the ones is Ray doing your neck here.
Yes, he recently just did my other one. Oh, sorry guys, my son's like, what is he doing?
We're going to talk about Desmond too, because we got some
Yeah.
tattoos for him. Tell me about this woman with the tiger dress.
So I was wanting to do like a native theme because I am part native as well. The reason why I got the native girl with the tiger headdress is because the tiger symbolizes strength and courage. And I've been going through a lot of stuff due to my son, and we'll probably get into that a little bit later as well.
Okay, well, let's get right to you, your son. We got an awesome tattoo up here with his name and his little footprints.
Yes, these are the footprints when he was like first born. So I was like, oh, okay, I had to get like a tattoo with his feet and his name and all that stuff. So I was like, I love it.
And does he know like that's his feet and love that?
No, so he always be like, oh, Mom, like that's my feet and all that stuff. I was like, yes, that's your feet.
Does he put his feet now and like say, look how much bigger?
Yes, he tries and does that. I'm like, dude, your feet are way too freaking big.
All right, and now you've got some other things here on your arm. The California is pretty amazing. Tell me about that.
Of course, I live in California, West Coast life, so I got to represent my state. So that's the reason why I got it. With all like the palm trees and stuff, it represents like the beach and just like the good vibe living out here.
And with the purple and the orange, looks like a nice sunset.
Yes.
Obviously, we have some incredible sunsets out here. Now, next to that, we got like a half skull with a rose. Tell me about that one.
So the half skull. Okay, so this is like a funny story. It was 2 years ago during Easter time. So me and my mom were, kind of having fun, had some wine and all that stuff, and we saw a tattoo shop, and we're like, are we gonna get a tattoo? Do you want to get a tattoo? She's like, let's go get a tattoo. So we just got like the same tattoo as well. We also have another one too right here on the bottom as well.
And then you've got some stars on your hand as well, and like a Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, I got a Queen of Hearts. This one's kind of like a long story, boyfriend vibes and tattoos. So I got a Queen of Hearts because it's like, okay, I don't have his name, but I can have a Queen of Hearts, so it can represent something like that.
Are you still with him?
No, I'm not. I'm with someone else.
So it's one of those things where if you get his name, you have to cover it up. But because it's Queen of Hearts, that's something you can keep, which is obviously a pretty smart thing.
Right. So that's why I did it.
Awesome. And now your other arm here, you've got some, in addition to the hibiscus, you got some other flowers, a wolf, a cross. You got like, almost looks like rosary beads down here. Tell me about what you've got going on here on your arm.
Okay, so the first one that I got on my arm, well, starting to do like my sleeve. I don't know what to do for the other parts, but this one I always love Day of the Dead stuff. So like Day of the Girl, like totally match my vibe. I do have Oceanside right here because I was born in Oceanside and I went to Oceanside High School, so got to rep my city right over there.
I bet you're a big Junior Seau fan, probably, huh?
Yes, I am. I personally got to meet him actually when I was in high school, so that was really, really cool.
Awesome. And then the wolf here.
So the wolf, the reason why I got a wolf, because it represents leader. I like to be a born leader. I like to like help people. I like to stir them in the right path. So I think getting a wolf was like a really, really good idea.
Awesome. And now you're doing some modeling. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your modeling career?
So I've been modeling for a little over 4 years. My friend Sabrina Tan, love you. She got me into doing modeling. She was like, "Oh, do you want to come do a photo shoot with me?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." And then I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go do it." So I started taking pictures with the photographer. I was like doing my poses and all that stuff. And then he's all like, "Have you done modeling before?" I was like, "I never done modeling before." He's like, "You need to do that. You can make a career out of it." And that's what I'm actually trying to do, make a career out of my modeling.
And so, what has that done for you so far?
So far, well, since all the pandemic and everything that's been going on, I've been getting some sort of income. Also, not just to help me out, but to help my son out as well. Since I am not working, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I'm trying to focus more on my modeling.
Okay, and you've done a couple magazines, I think?
Yes, I've done a couple magazines. I've done about 5 magazines I got published, and the sixth one, I finally got my first cover photo. So I'm so excited about that. So
What magazine is that?
from Inked Barbie magazine.
All right, so check that out. What month was that?
It was about last month.
Okay, so check that out. That would probably be like July-ish or so, because we're shooting this here in August. And tell me a little bit more about your son. You have a GoFundMe page for him?
Yes, I have a GoFundMe for him. Recently, last December, I found out that he has pulmonary hypertension, so it has to deal with the heart and with the lungs. They told me if I didn't found out what he had, they would have given him maybe 2 more years to live. So now he's on like 10 different medications morning and night. He does wear a pump on the side that has to give him medication through his arm to his lungs because the veins in his lungs were already starting to deteriorate. So they said even if we're giving him all the medications and all that stuff, like if his body is just ready to fail, it will fail. So, but fingers crossed, nothing will ever happen like that.
If you would like to donate and help out, we got that here on the screen for you. Desmond is an amazing young man, so please, please, please help out. He's given me some awesome looks. He's awesome, let me tell you. Evie, you've been awesome. Really enjoy your tattoos, really enjoy your story. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. This is Baseball Guy saying like this video, comment about just how awesome Evie is. Remember her GoFundMe account. And pound that subscribe button. Just pound it. And thank you all. We appreciate you. We love you. Baseball Guy, Evie, Desmond, come here, buddy. He's going to be too shy, but we are out.
What's up, everybody? Katie Kaz here with Tat-Stories, coming at you from Pacific Beach, and I am joined this evening with my good friend Casey Connolly.
Hello.
Casey, you have two very large and very different tattoos on your body. Can you tell us a little bit about your back or your calf tattoo? That was your first one, correct?
That was my first one.
Okay.
So I got it about 10 years ago. I was studying abroad in New Zealand. And afterwards, I went to Fiji on my way home. In Fiji, I really didn't have any plans. And so I just kind of got to the airport. But I ended up on this island called Mana. So Mana's like 45 minutes outside of it's not the capital city, but it's a city called Nandi.
Okay.
And I was just there. And eventually, I just liked hanging out with the locals when I was there, getting drunk. And like 6 people from Mana, and they didn't speak any English. And I don't speak Fijian. And so we were just passing around a Southern Comfort and Jack Daniel.
It's how the best tattoo stories start,
Yeah.
right? With a little bit of alcohol.
Yes, exactly. God, I'm fucking drunk. And like in this room that we were in, there was this sign that said, "Tattoo asks staff." That's all it said. And so I was just like, I pointed at it. I was like, "Hey, a tattoo, like I want one." I don't have any tattoos at this point. And they're like, one of them actually spoke English. I fudged a little there. But they were laughing at me and they're like, "You don't want a tattoo. You don't have any." And I was like, "No, I want a tattoo." And I was drunk and I was like, "I'm getting a tattoo." And they're like, "If you want a tattoo, come back tomorrow." And so then I went back, you know, we got even more drunk. We finished these bottles of alcohol. I woke up and I was like, you know what? Fuck those guys. I'm getting a tattoo. And so I walked to the lobby where the sign that said tattoo ass staff was. And I was like, the guy who spoke English was there, and I was like, hey, I want a tattoo. And he's like, for real? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, if you want a tattoo, we have to drive or boat someone in from the mainland. And like, so if you want one, like, you have to be serious, or else we're not gonna do it. I was like, I'm getting a tattoo today. And so like, they're like, okay, whatever. So the guy comes, they call him up, they're all friends, and so the tattoo artist comes. His name was Joe. So Joe eventually comes to the island. I think he gets there a couple hours later, and you know, him and I are talking about what kind of tattoo I want. And I had no fucking clue what I wanted. And so he's like asking me, he's like, what I was like thinking The Rock, you know, like Dwayne Johnson is my hero. But at first, like what I was describing was something like Celtic, like, you know, when you see those arm tats and it's all like the geometric lines and they're all intertwining and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I want something like that. He's like, no, you don't. He's like, here's what we're going to do. He's like, I'm going to sit you down and talk. He brought like his cousin or his uncle over. So Joe's like, here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to start giving you a tattoo. And he's like, where do you want the tattoo? And I kind of talked to him. I was like, well, I've never had a tattoo, and I'm kind of one of those people who's like, let's get the hardest part done first. So what's the hardest place to get a tattoo at? And he's like, your calf. In his opinion, it was his calf. And so I was like, fuck it. And he's like, how big do you want it? I was like, go big or go home, right? Like, I told you assholes I'm getting a tattoo. So they're all like, all the guys I was with, they're just like sitting back there laughing at me as like we're discussing what's going to happen.
You were like, 6 inches or bust.
Yeah, exactly.
I use frequently
exactly.
In my life, so.
And so Joe, he's like, all right, it was in this hostel, and he had to talk to the hostel management because they had actually like a massage room that was roughly the size of this room in this hostel. And he's like, I need to do it there. He needed me laying down, so I was laying on the massage table, and he's like, that's where we're gonna do it. And so I went in there, laid on the massage table, and Joe he had a pen, and he actually outlined freehand the outside of the shark that you see here. And he's like, we're gonna give you a shark. I was like, yeah, sure. So he freehanded the shark, and then like he started going at it. You can see how thick this is, that outside line. And he went around again, and I wasn't drunk when he started, but I was with my buddy Sean. And so like after he goes around the second time, when he's going over it again, I was like, Sean, get me some fucking beer. Like I need
you need to be back up to the SoCo levels real quick.
Yeah, like, oh man, it was miserable. It was one of the worst pains of my life. And I'll never forget it. And so like he starts going again, and I'm just chugging. And I was like, Sean, give me another fucking beer because it hurts so bad. And so like I drink another one. So Joe's going, he's like, so here's the outline. He showed it to me. And he's like, what we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna do traditional Fijian or Polynesian like art inside, like bands and stuff like that. And so I was just like, yeah, that's cool. Like I'm the one with the ego who's saying, fuck you guys, I'm getting a tattoo. You are the artist, so you do what you want.
Really putting your faith in some local strangers.
Someone I had met hours earlier.
I mean, you could have just had like a giant penis on the back of your cat. Like, you don't know what they're doing over there. Like,
no, and you can't see it.
That.
You can't see it. And so Joe, he gets about, I don't know, roughly halfway done. He was going at it for like an hour. And like I said, I had drank the equivalent of like 6 or 7 beers. So I'm one, a little buzzed, and 2, I got to piss really bad. And so let me give you a little more background here. So as I get up to go to the bathroom, you know, something bad happened. So the room we were in, like I said, it was roughly the size of this room. The massage table was in the middle, and there was a single light hanging down from like the wire. It wasn't like in a fixture. It was hanging down from the wire. And so to get his little portable tattoo machine to work, they actually had to unplug the water pump for the whole hostel, because that was the only source of electricity that was like powerful enough to run his portable tattoo machine. So it was fucking whack. So we're in this room, and all the guys who were trying to like, they were like, you're not getting a tattoo. They were all in there. So there's like 8 people in this tiny ass room. For whatever reason, as I was peeing, One of them wanted to get a better view. And so I was not in the room for this. I come back into the room. They're all screaming at each other. Like, Joe is irate. He's like, they're yelling at each other in languages I don't understand, but I can tell they're angry. And I'm like, what is happening? And so Joe was like, this asshole, he points at the guy, tried to get a better view, tripped over the power cord for the machine. It fell, and the machine broke. So here I am, a 45-minute boat ride from the nearest tattoo machine with a half-done tattoo. Joe is freaking out. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm kind of buzzed. So I'm just like, Joe, whatever. Like, okay, it's fine. Like, we can just finish it later. The problem was I was leaving Fiji in like 48 hours, and Joe had known that. And so he's freaking out. So Joe's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So at this point, I'm just like, Joe, like, I need to get real drunk. You know, my leg's bleeding because I have a half-done tat. And you can actually look, if you look real fine here, the last line that Joe did that day is right here, and it faints. And that's when I said, Joe, I got to pee real bad. So then this was done, these were done, the fins were done, and then all of this was empty right there.
Well, I have to say, Casey, it comes together really nicely. I think the moral of this story is if you drink enough alcohol, any tattoo will look great. And probably a good example of placing your faith in strangers where it worked out.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're going to get a tattoo by strangers, go to Fiji. Casey, it has been so great speaking with you. Thank you so much for sharing your tat story with us. I'm Katie Kaz with Tat-Stories. Before we sign off, make sure you pound that subscribe button. Maybe add a comment. What should Casey get next for his tattoo? What country should he go to? We want to hear from you. Thanks so much.